Huzzah! Open up the part and suddenly a mermaid.
Aw, the poor Merma.
Oh, what's got her all spooked with her and her rare physiology?
Jeez, and to think Banjo couldn't get away with this, but Donkey Kong? Oh no, they can literally make him as big as they want.
Yeah,
I guess so. So what's up, mermaid?
Can you believe it, Tiny?
Devil
The
David.
reptiles have stolen my precious pearls and
My
excuse me.
pearls.
Inside a giant treasure chest. I know you're really busy, but please try and get them back.
Aw, she said. Okay, so where? So are they all in this same cavern as us?
Not in this particular segment, no, but where we will be finding them later on anyway, they are in one enclosed space, so it won't be too hard to find them.
Okay. Okay.
It's just a matter of finding that set enclosed space. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Donkey Kong 64. We're still trekking through this wet and soggy bog of a,
Water level.
yes.
And it's my least favorite. I think okay. Let's start. Let's open the conversation with a little gabble gabble. Let's figure it out. Least favorite rare platforming water level.
Least favorite rare water...
Like out of all of the bunch, Banjo-Kazooie, Tooie, this one, hey Clapper, and all that.
Shiver me flippers! Taste a good hooky!
Hey
Here, matey! I'm so good with the thanks from this old sea dog, seal.
Cecile. Cecile.
Banana.
But yeah, no, so I'm trying to think, like...
I mean, honestly, this is very much up there, and he's giving us that golden banana as thanks for helping saving him back at the lighthouse.
Oh, right, that's what that switch was, yeah.
Not to mention, he's also opened up a special racetrack for us to race him in. Win that one, you'll get another golden banana there as well. And it's also sort of a prelude to this level's boss.
Oh, I remember the boss this place now. For some reason I thought it was the cutout, but that's not until the creepy castle.
No, and I mean, I still love, like I said before, I love that cutout boss, but that's something we can get into later. Anyway, let's go racing on a boat
Oh boy.
made out of half of a coconut
Ooh.
shell.
Yep, I'm right away. I mean, you've seen these races, you understand. It's,
Donkey Kong Racing!
yeah, it's pretty much Donkey Kong Racing, but, oh, jeez. Oh,
That was almost a game, by the way.
We know.
Yeah, we got close. And it was gonna have the animal buddies as
Oh, boy.
vehicles, and...
Look
I'm
how
gonna
it
be
looks like
honest.
it looks like it'd be really hard trying to collect all the coins while trying to beat him in the race.
It's not too hard. I mean, granted, yeah, the coins are pretty much the biggest thing, and there's also the matter of fact that the boat, for what it's worth, is very jittery.
I was gonna say, the handling on this does not look fun.
Yeah, it turns too sharply for its own sake.
And you kind of drift in the water.
Right, which
There we
I mean, if it weren't for that, I'd say this thing doesn't control too badly. Again,
Oh.
it's just the turning that gets me.
Alright,
And yeah, this
That
guy,
was a cheat.
yeah, no, the seal likes to show off every now and then.
Also, very helpful and very polarizing placement information. You're either winning or in dead last, according to the game.
I
Yeah.
mean, considering there's only just the two of you, isn't that kind of what it is?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hey, you did it!
Woohoo!
But, yeah, no, in terms of water levels, I feel like this may be it. Because Banjo-Tooie, you have the Jolly Roger Bay, which I think is helped out by your different mobilities and being able to breathe underwater.
There's that. But the original Banjo-Kazooie had Clanker's Cavern, which even then wasn't that big of a level. Like, the majority of it took place in one enclosed space, alongside, Clanker himself.
And I think that's where all this is like. I think that's where like the frustration of this comes is that water levels I'm fine with in short doses. Like how to put it, okay, how about this? In as far as Odyssey is concerned, I like Lake Kingdom more than I do Sea Kingdom.
That's fair. That's completely fair. Though, personally speaking, I never really had a problem with either of them. Again, I just think my biggest problem with Gloomy Galleon is how much back and forth you have to do between all of the Kongs.
Gotcha.
That is
Like,
fair.
if it were still the same, if I could still pull the same, one Kong per run sort of thing like the other ones, it wouldn't be as bad. Granted, yes, there is still the matter of going back and forth because of from one area to the other, just because there's some puzzles you can't only clear when the water level is higher or lower.
Right, it becomes the whole freaking wet dry world scenario with 5 different Kongs to examine every single level. If you don't know what you're doing, I cannot imagine how frustrating this level was for beginners who had no idea where they're supposed to go at what time.
Sad thing is, Logan, now that you mention it, this very much does feel like a wet dry world thing times 20.
Right, because it's like, Wet Dry World, you have the added benefit of, the name of the star tells you what you should be doing or where to go, and you only have to worry about one collectible, one big thing at a time. And 2, and it was only really one big area, because once you got to the hidden village, you didn't have to worry about the water anymore.
I mean, the more I stop and think about it, I'm not sure if this is like the general consensus or not, but the whole gimmick of raising or lowering the water level is probably the most tedious thing in all of gaming.
Well, and especially because you don't know what is supposed to be where. You usually have to wait for the water to rise or lower. And it's like as we were talking about in the case of DK64, you have a whole additional factor that exponentially makes it harder, because not only do you have to worry about what level the water is, but now you have to worry about which Kong are you going to be when the water is at levels 1 through whatever 4, or however high.
Right.
You go.
It's like there's that. Again, Mario 64 is another bright example with Wet Dry World, and it's like I never really cared for it there either. And everyone and their mothers pretty much gawked on about how much they hate the Water Temple from Ocarina of Time, which does the exact same thing, but you have to play a song in order to change the water level.
And you know what? Sorry, Hype, I realize I'm just like completely taking command of this conversation. I want to hear your input on it too.
No, it's fine. Like I mentioned before, I've pretty much gotten used to it at this point.
Well, I was thinking that I think that's the other big thing that what makes raising and lowering water tedious in games is that you can never just do it when you want to. You have to go to very specific points of the level to do it. So if, say, you need to repeatedly raise and lower the water, you're gonna have to make several backtracking trips. Yeah, it's a weird day. Also, it was just like a giant sea cucumber.
It looks like a sea cactus to me.
And I was like, that wouldn't make any sense. I would hate for
You know what? Now let's stop and think about it. All of a sudden, this makes I see this whole thing, and I'm suddenly reminded of that whole sequence from shit. I'm suddenly reminded of that whole sequence from what was it? Okay, this guy's got to go. Well, first I got to take care of that balloon.
Come on. And still, there you go. All right,
but what was I gonna say? I'm suddenly reminded, kind of the most obscure, the most out there thing ever. But you guys remember that one boat in the middle of the desert in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga that was filled with all those skeletons that were the pretty much the crew members and whatnot?
Right, had the sand and stuff.
And the moment you saved the one that somehow got his bones all fucking fattened up from soda, or wine if you're wine if you're playing the Japanese release,
and all the sand everywhere.
Not yet. I thought it was water that, or no, it was sand. Like there was sand that was pouring through that sent them straight to the sea.
Right, I remember that, and it rushed them away. Didn't they sink right away? Didn't they sink immediately afterwards because there was a hole in the boat, or?
They sank because they ran into some sort of rock formation, in the middle of the water.
It is tragic, but all well.
It's very much that whole annoying minigame from Mario Party 2, if brought to its logical conclusion.
Fair. There was this, Okay, no. Okay, what I was going to say was going to, be related to Fallout 4, so it's not at all pertinent to this conversation, and B, I forgot to ask Hype, your, least favorite kind of water level from a rare game, or at this point, just any game.
Honestly, I can't think of, any immediate examples off the top of my head, or at least any that I've experienced for myself personally. I guess the only ones that would really come to mind are Labyrinth Zone, and I can't really think of any other ones.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, Labyrinth Zone really isn't that fun. I mean, sure, I made it look like an absolute joke back when we were doing our Taxman Sonic 1 thing.
Yeah, but that's A, Taxman helping with that, and B...
yeah.
Whoa! And then the Fallout 4 thing that came to mind was that there's this whole segment where you come across a ship that is rammed into the side of a building that's commanded by robots who believe that they are pirates. And they're like, we're trying to take this boat out to shore, out to sea, and we only need some fuel. And you give them the fuel, and it's like, all right, men, let us make our next journey. And the robots all like they kick you off the boat politely so that they can get a move on. And you watch the boat set sail and rocket away from the building, right into another like skyscraper directly adjacent to it, and crash again. And you just hear over the radio, "Well done, men. According to my calculations, we only need another 2,300 more journeys like that, and we'll be out to sea soon." And all the robots are ever optimistic as always.
I mean, nice to have a goal to latch onto, however impossible it may seem.
Yeah, just little silly things like that.
Also, shit, you know what? I just remembered something.
Who's that?
We asked the question earlier about, like, which water level in rare games in general are probably are like the worst of them all.
Yeah.
Now, I can't outright say water levels, but I think water gimmicks in general. And I just realized one that probably beats them all, if only because of how dangerous, like how much of the it's all stacked against you.
What's that?
Conker's Bad Fur Day. Conker cannot breathe in water worth shit without going stopping to certain air bubbles.
That was just something I've always like kind of not considered. That's always something that like annoyed me about Conker in general, because I wanted like the game fully, but I think somebody said like the whole problem with Conker is that you don't know, you end up wondering like who is it meant for, because it has way too many like pop culture references for a video game purist, but at the same time I think both in health and in platforming, I think Conker is far too demanding for just some casual dude who wants to see a silly parody game.
I mean, I guess that's true. Even though I'll definitely make the argument that Conker, by comparison to most of the other rare platformers, is a little more simple by nature, because everything you do in that game is mostly context sensitive.
Aye, fair.
Sensitive to context. And like I said, folks, we'll definitely be getting around to that game sooner or later. Hopefully sooner, because, I feel like it's been long enough.
We've been doing
that music. Not again!
The Triangle Terror! And then it's like, oh, I just wanted to do the Switch. You like that, right?
Right?
Oh,
where'd you go?
Oh, they didn't even show the animation. He's just gone.
Chunky fear his own music playing might bring death to everyone I played to.
Why does everything I entertain die? I never meant to cause such pain. Anyway.
Oh, Tinkle Perk!
Just forgot about that. Alright, careful.
But yeah, no, kind of like the back in Jungle James, where you have the switches that open up bonus bananas to reach under a time limit. Pretty much the same deal here, except for you're primarily trying to race to a section of a ship that opened up.
Okay. Okay, so I see what you're saying there. Alright, well.
Also, judging from all these treasure chests and pictures of Captain K. Rool all over the place, a part of me's wondering if this is what we're swimming through is like the very original Gangplank Galleon.
Maybe.
That's what I figured, because aren't there
Welcome to bonus stage.
Aren't there stages in DKC 2 where you were like swimming in the underbelly or in like sunken ships and stuff?
Yes.
So I figured it'd have to be related to that somewhere.
And I mean, that whole game, and what we thought was the Gameplay Galleon in the last part, I mean, for all I know, might have just been a replacement, because you saw how small that thing was.
Right. It's a little bit of a rinky-dink ship, if so. I wonder if that would have been, like, their idea for a DK64 2, if they were going to have it, like, take place on K. Rool. Actually, no, because K. Rool Island sunk.
Twice.
What sunk it the second time?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, Donkey Kong Land 2 was very fucking loose on explaining why the freaking Kremling Island rose back from the depths after it got sunk the last time.
Oh no!
Yeah, my luck was not there at this time.
These games are odd. But anyway,
and a part of me wants to say that this is another minigame that kind of got slightly harder just because of modern day emulation. Because I don't remember it being that fast, like back in the N64 original.
That was something I've experienced sometimes with old computer games where, since it's running on a much higher processor than ever possible, like certain animations or certain like quick time events were literally impossible because they would be rendered at so fast speed I couldn't even like no human could react to them in time.
Yeah, and it's I'll say that. How the heck are you supposed to reach this one with DK?
Yeah, like how?
The player's probably the player's likely saying right now. Well, stay tuned.
Okay. Now we go up here and get to another jumpy puzzle and a banana barrel.
And today we gotta do more stuff.
Oh boy.
I want to say this is the very last one of its type, but don't quote me on that.
I understand what they're doing with this, where like this is meant to emulate Donkey Kong Country's bonus, bonus barrels, but part of me wonders if it's a little bit of a cop out that. Nice. Oh, nuts.
How was it dead end anyway?
I wonder if it was just a bit of a cop out in the sense of like, oh, get 'em, mall security cop, Kremlin.
I'm sorry, I've been a bad monkey.
Nice. But yeah, it's like, I wonder, it feels like a little bit of a cop out where like you have this environmental, like, you could have environmental puzzles and things, but sometimes it just leads to a barrel like this, which will just have any old mini. I don't know. Okay, at this point I'm rambling. I apologize.
I mean, I get what you mean though. Like, you think it would make sense to have bonus challenges that are much more in tone to the level you were already playing anyway, kind of like in the original trilogy.
Yeah, I guess so. Or have more I don't know. Just nuts. One's big.
I mean, I'll definitely give credit where it's due in that, like, when you really pay attention to the bonus levels, it's pretty clear that you technically are playing them inside the barrel anyway, like right down to like just like all the walls and whatnot make it very clear.
Right. No, yeah, that's fair.
So it's a visual excuse at the very least. But yeah, I can sort of agree that maybe it wouldn't hurt to try something a little different, like say maybe have a stealth set piece that looked like we were literally inside this whole treasure hoard.
Right. And also,
and with that, we got a banana port which DK can use easily to reach here.
All right.
Behold!
Oh, where's that Kong barrel?
Right over there.
Okay.
You'll usually know that there's a tag barrel nearby when there's a sparkly.
Okay. Well, DK trying to get yourself a blueprint, and then I have a feeling that Tiny's the one who can go inside that treasure chest.
I believe so. I mean, there's a keyhole that's just big enough for Tiny to shrink down in size and sink right in.
What a silly game this be.
I mean, who needs keys anyway?
Alright, go on. Go away. Nice. Do. Oh. Just belly flops in.
Oh, man. Like, how many of us, right now, have ever experienced that kind of pain?
I had it probably the worst I could ever imagine having it happen to, so... we went to Hawaii years ago, and we decided to go to the beach, and on the beach there was a cliff for people who were doing some cliff diving. Mm-hmm. A good, like, 30 to 40 feet in the air, or above the air, and I jumped off of the smaller ledge, and as I was falling down, I leaned too far back, and my back hit the water first, and the way my family described it was they were further down the shore, like about 50 feet away from the cliff, and they heard the clap.
Oh.
And just this, and I remember not even really wanting to move for the first 2 minutes after I came to, and it's like, so that sucked. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's how that went down.
Hype, have you ever experienced such pain?
Closest thing I've had to that, not so much with the water, but I know when I was younger there have been plenty of times where I fell on my back so devil damn hard it literally knocked the wind out of my lungs.
Oh no, was it just roughhousing or just climbing up climbing
several
up stuff?
There were a few different occasions. One was I was running on the porch, it was in the middle of winter, and I underestimated how icy the porch was.
Oh.
One time was when I was over at the city playground. I was trying to maneuver around a slide, Like, instead of actually, like, sliding on it because, you know, the static cling was bothering me, I figured, oh, maybe I could just try to, like, jump off the side. It's not that far of a height. And it wasn't that far of a height, but I didn't land on my feet.
Oh,
Oh, you couldn't quite stick the landing.
that's the key. That's the key factor.
Yeah, and the third time was when my brother tried to pull a prank on me, made it look like that he was bleeding on the porch, and when I went to check on him, I guess he must have accidentally dropped some of the ketchup that he was using, like, next to him, and I ended up slipping on that.
Oh no!
Ugh. Jesus.
And then someone came out. Someone came out to help you, and then they slipped on the ketchup, and then soon you couldn't even tell.
It wasn't that egregious.
Okay.
I could just imagine that would make for the best AFV video. But
Jeez.
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, see you all next time as we finish off Gloomy Galleon by finding what's inside that chest.
Finally, see ya.
My back!